Man, this razor chair comfy.
Eat a dick, motherfucker. Some of us don't have disposable income like that, nigga. All right. What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of damn, what channel am I on now? Echo 4. Ah, shit, bro. It's been a long ass week of me just doing absolutely nothing. I have like 4 videos I shot that I have not edited yet. So, bro, trust me, I have a lot of fuck it in my system right now. So
good.
Yes.
Hey, you know this drink ain't helping, Joe. It's
It looks like a big ass Pedialyte bottle. What is
oh, no. This was a Pedialyte bottle. I'm going back between the two because I don't know. I'm gonna wake up fucked up.
Did you mix with the Pedialyte?
No.
You do a 2 for 1?
No, this is no.
I don't think that's how that works.
No, I'm drinking rum and coffee together, and I don't know. This is like a very dirty version of a Black Cuban, but bro.
Sounds good.
No, Black Cubans are good. It's just that this one is kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to say toxic, but it's different. That's just why I have the Pedialyte, because if this shit if the shit crashes in a worse way, I want to be fine. Okay, that's essentially what I'm saying. I want to be okay tomorrow. Yeah. So welcome to Echo 4. That's a long ass intro. It's your boy the Mad Prince. I'm gonna be your moderator for today, and we got the rest of the homies. Everybody go ahead and introduce yourselves, and please be on to act like you've done this for a minute.
Hey, it's your girl Drea.
It's your girl Brittany. What's up, y'all?
It's your boy Ken-san. How y'all doing?
Thank you, cause like we all too black for y'all not to keep a beat. This is bullshit. All right, so
I think we got an order going on now.
All right, good. Especially like none of us are sober right now, more or less. Okay, so all right, so yeah, this is another discussion for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We have reached the penultimate episode. Means there's one episode left. Yes. And this I mean, it started off with action, but this is a lot of damn, I was about to use a big word. I'm not exactly sure if I can use it right.
Throw it down, bro.
I was about to say juxtaposition or whatever the fuck. Anyway,
Okay,
there's a lot of shit going on, a lot of downtime. It's like the calm before the storm. That's usually what a penultimate episode means. Like shit is about to go nuts. So we see a few different things. Well, I'm not gonna do a recap for you. That's what I got these niggas for. So everybody, go ahead, give your impressions. I told y'all it was lit.
Can't go ahead.
Man. Whew. The title of this episode, Some Truth Was Spoken. And man, I enjoyed it. Man. Heavy. It's heavy. But I will say it was much needed, and it has set the ground well for the finale. And oh boy, I cannot wait to see what the new okay. I'll zip. I'll say that for later.
I know what you was gonna say too.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, yeah. I'm ready. It's good.
Okay. I'll go next. I really enjoyed this episode, and honestly, I needed some calmness after that little heavy moment in the episode. It was nice to see Bucky and Sam just kind of like kick it, and I mean, there was still some really heavy moments with them, but it was just like I just like to see that their friendship is developing. So I really like this episode a lot. So yeah, can't wait to dive deep into it, but that's my first impression.
Okay.
First impression, they got me with the first half. You know, it was tense, and then it kind of tapered off, and I'm like, oh, but okay, we're gonna pop off last episode. So I'm Gucci. We don't get into the details.
That's what's up.
Right. All right. So All right, I'm double checking something. My bad. All right, so essentially, yeah, my impressions of it, it's a lot of shit. It's a lot to unpack here. There's a lot of emotions going on, but I have like some weird feelings towards how like certain plots of the story, with how it kind of some of it while some of it felt like it was like really good, it felt like it lacked in certain places. We're gonna touch on that later on today though, but overall I like the story for what it was, what it tried to achieve, and everything that it tried to do. Now, so so let's start off with probably let's do this in chronological order. Let's start off with the bit of action we got during this episode. That throwdown between John, Bucky, and Sam. Boy, I want to hear some thoughts.
Man.
I just hated that John Walker was like, yeah, we're just gonna like shake off what he did, and that he was just like, yeah, we gotta find Karli. Like, he just didn't kill a man. I was shocked. I was like, wow. Like, obviously he had some conflicting emotions. And when Sam and Bucky confronted him, he was just like, yeah, but we gotta find Karli. We gotta keep, going forward. And I was just like, wow, he's really, like, he lost it. Like, he is delusional. Like, his actions didn't mean anything. You took a whole life, and the wrong life at that. And I was just like, this shit is crazy. And then the fight itself, I was like, well, honestly, I did think Bucky was gonna like just have this shit in the bag. Like, yes, he's a super soldier. He's way more experienced than Johnny Walker. Is that his name? Am I saying it right? White ass Captain America.
Hey, don't mix him up with some good drink.
John.
I know.
John Walker.
Don't you know what?
Whack
America. There you go. Whack America.
Whack America. You know what?
He might as well be Johnny Walker at this point, because that shit was ratchet. That was some ratchet shit that happened.
It was.
Ain't nothing good ever happened off of fucking Johnny Walker. All right.
Yeah,
that's my piece.
I just thought that, like, Winter Soldier, Bucky was gonna have this shit in the bag, and it was actual struggle. And I was very surprised to see how much they struggled, but they ended up getting the shield back, so I was happy about that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had about. I did like the last little move that they did. I don't know no moves. Yeah, that one, that move there. I like that shit. But that's all I got.
You know what was my jam when they broke his arm? I'm like,
oof.
That's how I felt. I was like, yes,
music to my ears. I was just hoping wouldn't be a Thanos situation where he still had it and y'all have to keep on struggling for it. But he like, I'm like, yes.
Hey, if low key Bucky was like, join the club, motherfucker. I'd have done happy.
Man, yeah, like when his arm snapped, like I was like, at first it's kind of sound like almost like a squirrel screeching, but then I was like, no, well, not that bad. But yeah, it was like, oh yeah, there you go. He ain't catching that shit. But
he tried to kill Sam the same way he killed the dude, though. I was like, that nigga gotta go. But go ahead, kid.
You literally dead ass just tried to convince us that you went out your rabbit ass mind. Right. And what did you do? You tried to get me like you got Buddy, nigga. Yo,
right? Try to add his blood onto the thing, man. But yeah, like
blood and shit,
man. Like it was interesting because it felt weird to see my kind of prediction come true of like his identity as Falcon kind of stripped away. Like he literally ripped his wings off, like clipped. Like, wow, that was it. That was it. There it is.
That hurt me a little bit.
Yeah, it hurt me a little bit too.
It probably hurt him more. He probably felt it. Yeah, he probably felt that guy ripped. Like,
I mean, you say that, but he's definitely better off, like, given the fact that that's how they tracked his ass was with the wings, because it was U.S. government property regardless. So Okay. So all right, is everyone done talking about the fight? I mean, the fight or the version of it or their thoughts on it? Okay. That's a yes. I'm assuming silence is a yes. So yeah, that fight was pretty much damn. It was weird. It was weird. It was dope considering everything that kind of sprung forth from it. All the fallout from it and all that and shit. John definitely John's gonna be a problem, bro. Like even though he was outnumbered and shit, he was still very much fucking he was still very much holding his own against both of the motherfuckers. And you know what? That fight, like him, even not this fight though, but the fight when they were fighting the Flag Smashers before Battlestar got his ass clipped. Like Sam was really holding his own. Sam knows, and that's to be expected. Sam is just a regular motherfucker that fought motherfuckers that's outside his weight class, and so yeah, that shit is nuts though. But seeing that fight come about and like, cause and just seeing how John is fucking, out his rabbit ass mind,
crazy as hell,
crazy as fuck, mad as fuck. But you know what? At the same time, it's kind of like, bro, I mean, you can attribute that shit to like a few different things, because whatever the hell happened in Afghanistan and shit, and that kind of made him feel the way that he felt when he was talking to Lamar and shit, and like, yo, you won three medals of honors and shit, like for some bullshit, and apparently he made some choice that he regrets though. So he's probably dealing with PTSD or some shit like that.
Oh, but he's definitely dealing with PTSD.
He's fucked.
Especially after Battlestar reminded him a few times right before they went to that fight, after he already took the serum and everything, and I think also the serum is really messing with his head too. So that adds on to it. But Capoeira, that's what popped in my head when I was watching the fight.
What's Capoeira? What is that?
Is that fighting style? It doesn't even look like they're dancing. They're flipping and stuff. It's actually a fighting style.
Capoeira.
Capoeira.
Yeah.
That was like when I watched, like, looks like that one fight.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see that shit, but I mean, each his own.
I would have to look at that fight again. I would watch it. I would have to too.
Okay, all right. So, stemming from that fight, after everything, let's talk about the fall of John Walker. So shortly after, not too long after, he's at a Senate hearing, not a court martial, because they kind of said, motherfucker, like you should by right be court martialed if you didn't do what you did in Afghanistan. If you didn't earn 3 medals of fucking honor, your ass will be court martialed. So, so John Walker, he's standing before the Senate and everything. Well, is it the Senate? Well, he's standing before the DOJ or what? He's standing before assholes. That's the best way to put it. He's standing before assholes, and so he basically argues like, yo, you fucking made me. You turned me into this shit. You like, I did everything that you fucking asked for, and so on and so forth. And that kind of really hits home to something I'm gonna ask y'all later on. That really hits home about like what does it mean to be Captain America, because Captain America, because someone put it in a way that I really understood. I mean, the way that really made sense is that Captain America, not the person, but the concept itself, it's not a tool of the state, and that's kind of what they tried to turn John into. They tried to turn him into a tool of the state, because I mean, you remember, granted, don't get me wrong, even when Steve had joined the military and trying to join the military, Joe, I mean, the reason for doing that shit was really simple. He's like, I hate bullies, and it doesn't seem right for motherfuckers to be doing this shit on any level. And that was his drive. He was that was his drive. It wasn't it wasn't like patriotism or nothing like that. It was just the fact that it was somebody doing bad, and he wanted to stop that. It was very simple. And it got to the point where, and he's even got to the point where he even rebelled against the United States government in order to pursue that goal. So Yeah, so Captain America, so the DOJ's version of Captain America was probably almost always doomed to fail, just for the simple fact is that they tried to turn Captain America into something that it would never was, and they didn't understand that. And John Walker on that, and I kind of, as much as I don't like John Walker, I kind of feel for him because he was set up to fail from the start because of this. So yeah, I talked more about John Walker's fall than I should have. I want y'all opinions on that. So I've said my piece. So go ahead.
I knew America's gonna drop his ass. They turned into Mariah Carey. I don't know him. Baby, you better be glad this is the best you're gonna get. Be grateful. Walk out graciously. Man, and I heard that. I'm like, ooh, that's a low level.
It's like, dang, I don't give retirement pay and insurance and stuff. Like,
I know. You know, that shit's important in America.
Insurance part, ooh.
Yeah.
I know in other countries, y'all ain't got like, what? You got to worry about insurance? Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I did feel for John Walker in that scene because I was just like, y'all did build him. Y'all was fine with all the dirt he was doing in Afghanistan because, you know, it wasn't the public eye. It was an international, like, you know, affair or whatever, or displayed internationally. But when it's displayed internationally, y'all literally just drop this man. What do you do with somebody that has the super soldier serum in him? All this pent up anger, frustration, and you take everything away, strip him of this title of Captain America. What do you think you're gonna like? What's gonna happen to this man?
Oh yeah, they didn't think that shit all the way.
They did not think that shit through at all. So it was just like, okay, y'all really short-sighted. And I mean, I felt him, but then again, I was just still kind of like, it's just something about him so entitled and privileged, and I still just like, oh God, I can't.
And that's why I didn't care, because it's like, sure, they built you, but you know how to stay on brand. You did that on public. You did that in front of cameras. You thought they was gonna clean up that mess?
No.
It wasn't even the right guy.
That nigga literally did it for the Vaughn.
I don't want to do it.
His white privilege thought that he was gonna be okay after that situation.
Right?
Like,
they're supposed to write it off. He saved us from the terrorists.
Exactly. Even though that was my prediction.
You know what? I don't think it was white privilege so much. It's just the fact that he was Captain America. Mm-hmm. That's what he's holding on to. He's like, I was deemed worthy of this mantle. Nothing can basically happen to me. I don't think that's
clinging on to it too. Like towards the end of that Senate hearing, like he's like, I am Captain America.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason. That's what that is. I don't think that's white privilege on his end. I don't think that's what
he just feel like he is entitled to that.
Yeah, but I guess that's the sense of that white privilege, that entitlement. It was just like, why wouldn't you think that you would be in trouble for murdering a guy in front of everybody, the whole world? Why wouldn't you think that you would be in trouble because you have the Captain America title?
Because he is Captain America.
Because they made him Captain America. Because he's. I mean, yeah. All right, go ahead.
You know what? Isaiah says that white hope. Yeah, it's privilege. Period.
Yes, it's privilege. I mean, it's dead ass. It's privilege. And no way a black man, like, even if Falcon was Captain America in that particular scene, his black ass was stopped as soon as he saw all those cameras. But no, because my ass would be thrown in jail immediately.
Let's be real. Sam was raised better. Sam was raised better than that.
Well, yeah, he was raised like he's a wholesome dude, but you know, like if his sister got murdered or something, you know, somebody important to him, rage can make you do. It's like we're not allowed to have that rage make me do something like terrible in front. It's like, oh no, you're just thrown away after that. So honestly, that nigga should have been in jail, but they was just like, oh well, you know, we gotta take your benefits and shit.
A lot more than that, but yeah, the obvious fact that they didn't, because you said privilege, and going back to what you're saying, Will, how like the concept of Captain America is like it's going for a cause, fighting for a cause, not fighting for a country. And then they eventually turned that title of Captain America as someone who fights for a country, not fighting for a cause. And
that's interesting.
John Walker, he fights for his country. He's always fought for his country. So they were like, okay, we want you who always fought for your country to pick. And
Steve Rogers didn't fight for. He fought for good. Like he was fighting against bullies. He was fighting against
an ideal and a cause.
Yeah,
and it wasn't allied. Yeah, it wasn't allied to any government or any corporation or anything. It was.
He fought for America so long as it aligned with that cause, and when it didn't, he let motherfuckers know that he wasn't cool with it, and that's how we got Civil War. So, so give him piggybacking off the whole idea of like how, like, why the fuck are y'all letting this man go, given the fact that he got super serum, it got a super serum running through his fucking veins.
But do they know that?
Shit.
Yeah,
I don't think
they should now.
They should by this point. I mean,
that boss bitch that came in, she knew.
Again, all right. Well, I'm about to start off with Valentina Allegra Del Fontaine.
Contessa Valentina Allegra Del Fontaine.
She said what I'm about to say. Name.
Anyway, Contessa my ass. Anyway, so all right. So did anybody read up on this character? Trying to figure out who she is.
A little bit.
Or less.
A little bit.
All right. So for the viewers who don't know, Valentina, whatever the fuck. She is in the comics. No, whatever the fuck. Because in the comics, she's basically the super spy, more or less. Short of Black Widow, because she's been both a SHIELD agent and a Hydra agent. And what's notable about her story is that she's also played as a love interest of Nick Fury. This is back when Nick Fury was still an Italian American character, before they rebooted him and gave him a little bit of soul, but you know. So her showing up is really weird, because apparently she was supposed to show up in the Black Widow movie, but the shit happened and they decided to I guess shit got shuffled around. So I guess she was supposed to be introduced. She was supposed to be introduced like in Black Widow first, then in this series, but you know, Black Widow got pushed back, so I guess they had a plan, but shit got different. But I can't attest to any of that. So her showing up like she is, her approaching John Walker, what do you think of the implications are about that?
Honestly, okay, well, from what I was reading up about this character, that she becomes Madam Hydra, or she is Madam Hydra, and so now it just kind of I don't know if it's confirmed in the show, I don't know, but that Hydra still is very much active, and they're gonna use, you know, John Walker as basically, I guess, like an agent, like to do. I mean, because obviously this man still wants to be out there in the field.
It's funny you say agent.
I mean, you've been saying that shit.
Fucking
you have U.S. agent. Yes. So I see where they're laying out the path for him. I think he just wants to feel like he is doing something and that he is needed, and she's gonna give him basically a home, a place for him, and whatever she asks, I think he's gonna do in the name of America.
Or their idea of America, whatever they may be.
Exactly, whatever it may be. So I mean, obviously he is not afraid to get dirty. So he's definitely gonna make shit very just like yeah, he's gonna go down a dark path. And I mean, I just don't know, like, is he's probably going to be used in the future of MCU. I think that's probably where I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah, because it's like you can't get rid of this character that quick. So I think it's going to like play a part in the future. So, but other than that, that's all I know about her and John Walker.
Okay.
So my only thing is I'm not sure how he's going to be utilized in the future. I don't know what movies they're going to have Falcon, aka brand new Captain America, because she told him, she's like, yo, the shield isn't government property. It's a gray area. So I can see him trying to snatch that shit back. But I don't know what kind of dynamic they will have with him and Damn, I'm forgetting names, Lord. Sam. Like, I don't. I was gonna rename. Yeah, Robert. I don't know what kind of dynamic they will have to have that juxtaposition, other than, you know, what Captain America should be and the guy who just wants to be it, because I guess to give himself some self-validation, to feel like that he's doing a great job at something, because he fucked up one too many times. He's like, this is the one role that felt right. This is the one role that felt like I can do what I wanted to do, what I was meant to do.
That he was living up to. Well, that he felt like he was living up to.
Yeah, he was cleaving onto that title
way
so much.
And that's exactly how US Asians started. Saying that, I deserve this shit. Like, motherfucker. No. Okay, Ken? Are you done, Drea? All right, Ken?
Yeah, I think, well, I haven't read up too much on Val, but for what I do know, it's like, for the premise of her, she's still an agent as well. So, I mean, she works for someone else. So she was kind of sent by someone. So who sent her?
Oh, yeah.
So that's like the bigger question. Like, is it ultimately the power broker? Could it have been potentially someone else that we know?
Yeah, there's
seen in the show that
it's somebody else. The new baddie had entered to the fray.
Could be, because you know what? I don't know. Shit got weird after a while with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, I stopped watching after a certain point though, but like it just kind of deviated from the MCU. It kind of started off like tied into it, but it just kind of got really different. And so I don't know the validity of like how that fits into the MCU. And like, cause I mean, they kind of answered a lot of this shit, cause like a lot of the shit that they did was they fought Hydra, because Hydra was a major fucking villain in that entire series, and like how that came about was some other shit. And so I don't know if it's if Hydra still exists in some fucking form or not. It's not inconceivable. I just hope they don't do the same bullshit that they tried in the comics by making Cap secretly an agent of Hydra. I don't know. I never read the end of that storyline. So
the one who was like Hail Hydra or something.
Yeah,
like
that shit.
Yeah. I was like, so which that's where with that I was like, that's what I see, like if him trying to keep the title of Captain America, and they get to see him ultimately aligning with Hydra, because this could be like a splinter group of Hydra that's still existing, that's recruiting him, John Walker, and you know he could still don something similar to Captain America. And
True. Okay. All right. All right. So let's get into the first of the two biggest scene discussions that happened in the show itself. After Sam lost the wings and shit and regained the shield, he went back to Baltimore and he had a chat with Isaiah Bradley. So I want to hear, and it got real deep. Oh shit, did it get deep? I want to hear everybody's thoughts on that conversation between Isaiah and Sam, talking about a black man's place in America, the mantle of Captain America, what is like, so on and so forth. I want to hear thoughts. Damn, somebody go.
Come on, Ken. You haven't gone first.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, first, Ken.
No, I was gonna say,
as a black man, go ahead.
Self-respecting black man. That was
a very tough conversation to hear, I would say, and yeah, I mean, I felt everything that Isaiah was speaking, and man, I just never felt so bad. And so when it comes to watching, so especially a really good show, he's like, you kind of could see the life story, like kind of painting out as he's like expressing it. And yeah, just the fact that, you know, he had a wife and he loved her, and in jail and everything, like all the letters, like just didn't get him.
Never reached to him. His wife died.
Yeah, it's just so like it's like the opposite of a lot of stories of like, like even for example with Kong Skull Island, how what's the name was stuck on the island for whoever how many years, and then he managed to come back and his wife from Forest is still there, and so this is like the opposite, and it's not happenstance, it's more like force, because all he did was try to save his boys, because back out there, that's all you got. That's all you got out there. It's your boys, and he tried to do good, and what happened to that? So oof.
They made a parallel to Cap doing the same thing, saving his boys, and how everybody looked at Cap or Steve Rogers as a hero, and when Isaiah did it, they looked at him, or like he broke the law, broke the way, imprisoned because of literally the same type of decision, same type of action that Steve Rogers did. And the only difference is his skin color. So I was just like, and I had to watch another video when I didn't make that parallel myself, but when it was brought up, I was like, oh yeah, like I remember seeing that, and I was just like, wow, like it even made me feel even worse, because like we love Steve Rogers, but his skin color gave him that one up, like with Isaiah Bradley. And it's just like, I just feel like he didn't even want the serum. They did it as an experiment, and just testing them out, and just was willing to throw them away and discard them. And what they did to Isaiah after him being in prison, him not seeing his wife, not getting her letters, I was just heartbroken. But then in a conversation, listening to Sam, and just like, like all of that fighting, like why, basically why would I give up now? When it's the Black experience is so complex. And I felt that both sides I understood. Like when Isaiah was just like, no, all of them, like I'm, what I'm saying? Like all of them. And then Sam was just like, well, I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep fighting for my people, keep fighting for what it means to be American, what is American, and all of this other stuff. So I felt it on both ends, because as Black people and our ancestors, we've been fighting for centuries. And for us to get to the point of just like, we built this country too. It's our country just as well as their country. Well, natives and all that stuff, but we also helped build this country. So we are just as American as they are. So it's complex.
Just on the side note, if they had me in red boots singing show tunes, I wouldn't want to be Captain America either. That's just me.
Yeah. For real. And I like that line at the end where you just, no self-respecting Black men would want to be Captain America. And I was just like, that
shit hurt.
All right, Drea.
While you guys were selling your points, I was reflecting on this one line, and he was like, you wanted jail to be my fault because you have that white man's shield. And part of me is like, Sam, what were you looking for? As in, like, you never heard of this man for a reason. He told you he was experimenting on. What more would you want from this man? What validation you thought you were going to receive? You thought he was just going to like pass on the mantle from Black man to Black man, like, yeah, you can do it. Just the idea that his men were falling apart, dying off of this serum before he can even get to the, his final end of just being experimenting on for 30 years is tragic. So just the idea of that, you bringing this hurt up for someone else, trying to find yourself, is like, it felt kind of naive.
Yeah. To
walk into that situation. But that last line, that hurt. Because we like throughout this whole series, he's wondering who's going to be Captain America. He's like, no self-respecting Black man. So he's just telling you, like, baby, you the tap dancing, jiving coon.
That's exactly how I felt like when he was basically saying.
I'm like, you couldn't make it easy on us, goddamn.
Because like we're cheering, we want him to be
right
Captain America because he deserves to be Captain America more than anybody.
But he never wanted it. He never wanted it.
Because
he was forced into pretty much all of the situations he was in, and the one time he actually was fighting for a cause was when he was fighting to get his boys back. And then what happens when he does that? He gets put in jail.
Yeah.
That shit crazy, boy. I mean, like you said, Dre, like what was Sam expecting to get by talking to Isaiah, bringing up that hurt and shit? I think it was just perspective. Because we've all had people in our families who brought up that same shit, all those experiences and whatnot. Especially if your fucking parents are like baby boomers who can remember segregation, boy. You can't tell them shit.
Not a damn thing.
You can't tell them a goddamn thing, bro. But it's weird though. But it's like, damn, like you right, Joe. Like, do I do like? But at the same time, if you look at it as like, if you look at the mantle that is Captain America as it being the poster boy of the America, what it represents and shit in the past that is done, I can see why you feel that way though. But at the same time, it's never really been what the mantle was. Like just off rip, and I get it, and like Steve definitely didn't think that shit through when he handed that mantle. I mean, granted, Sam is fully worthy of being Captain America, but when he gave him that mantle, he really didn't think about the weight and the conflict that came with that for someone like him. Because let me tell you, if these last 4 years have taught me anything, boy, people feel certain kind of way when you represent the country and you a shade too dark for their liking.
I mean,
hell, that's an anything.
That's shit. No,
Black people can't be in the spotlight too long.
No.
Yeah.
It look like you niggas are having a lot of fun. Yeah, we should fix that. Yeah, but no. But at the same time, though, like, because I mean, I've had conversations like this before. Both of my parents are fucking baby boomers. They grew up. They were born in '95. They remember segregation. Then my dad's side of the family, they from Mississippi. So nigga. Anyway, so it's like, bro, because like if I was in Sam's position, Joe, I would be like, bro, like, is this the legacy that is this the legacy that I really want? Do I really want to carry this bitterness or try to do something about it? Because like I understand like why Sam is like, yo, he chose to fight. He wanted to keep fighting for that cause and shit like that, regardless of the stigma that may be around it though. Cause like it be times where like even talking with like just like talking about the experience and shit, talking to like black people talking about the experiences and shit, it's like, yeah, I feel that shit, but at the same time I feel that shit and all that though, it's like, bam, but like damn, like do I really want to carry around this bitterness all my fucking life, or try to change that shit? And that's the thing. Don't get me wrong. Isaiah, what happened to Isaiah is fucked up, and he's justified in feeling the way that he feels. I'm not discrediting that though, and like there's lessons to be learned from that. But like just like that burden that he has, that's not Sam's. All right, it's not his experiences. He shouldn't be basing his choices off of Isaiah's experience. He should learn from them, definitely. But it shouldn't. But like I don't know. Because this is a complex. I can't really word this shit because it's always been a complex situation. Because even if I was in Sam's position though, and I'm like, yo, I got this mantle. I don't know if I should do this shit or not. And like all this shit, and like, yo, should I really? And I'd be conflicted too. I'd be conflicted too. And like ultimately I'd be like, bro, I got to decide what I'm gonna do in order to like further shit along rather than like waddle in this bed in its own stuff. Like I said, it's complex as shit. It's complex as shit. And I think, and the only reason, if I was in Sam's position, the only reason why I would come to Isaiah would be like to just get perspective, because I would know what I would want to do, but I would kind of want to know what the cost of what it would be that I would do what I want to do. Because in the comics it's a little different. Isaiah put on the mantle of Captain America in order to do his shit, and they saw that shit as treason. So ultimately that's why they locked his ass up. But yeah,
I mean, I do have a kind of a real life situation, like kind of tied to this, like being Black and being American, like traveling. And when I was working in Japan, it was so many times where I would enter a space and being the only Black person in the room, but I wasn't the only American. And when the Americans are acting up, like acting a goddamn fool, and the Japanese people just like, oh my God, like the Americans. And I would always say, oh no, I'm Black though. I'm like, oh no.
You was Mariah Carey and just, I don't know them.
Like, it's like they are Americans. And I am too, but I'm Black American. Like I'm different from them.
There's different types of Americans.
It is. It's a different, like the way I carry myself.
But you know what? The Japanese, they're not gonna see that shit because they see all foreigners pretty much as the same. Yeah. So they're not gonna
exactly. And a lot of my friends would say that.
I've watched enough J vloggers to hear that shit repeatedly.
Yes.
Like, nah, it's not that they're racist. They just treat all foreigners as the same.
Just foreigner. You just a foreigner.
That could be a gift or a curse, whatever situation you deal with.
Yeah,
bro.
and I felt like I had to like explain that to them, and like a lot of times my friends would be like, "Well, you don't act like the typical American," and I was just like, "Oh." And I know what they meant, but yeah.
I'm a second class citizen over there.
Bro, if you saw me on the corner and the police rolled by, you should see me sweat. I'm not even doing nothing. I'm waiting for an Uber, and these niggas roll around, and I'm like, God damn.
And I feel like I'm in danger. So like it was very like conflicting when I was over there, because I was just like, sometimes I was embarrassed to say that I was American. Sometimes I wish I had a different accent so I can pretend to be somebody else. Because when you're Black, you can be Brazilian, you can be from Africa, you can be from London, you can be from anywhere. But my accent always said, it was like, oh, she's from? American.
Nigga.
Nigga. I'm from nigga. Nigga. But as soon as I talked, they were just, oh, American. I'm just,
no, baby, Chicago's different. It's different.
I know, like, it's even traveling, I was just like very conflicted on just, am I American or am I Black American or I'm just Black, or like, it was interesting. So I understand. I definitely understand.
You know, it's funny. You could probably just Google, does this country like Americans? And then before you travel there and find out beforehand if like, are they going to be cool with Americans coming through, or
that's why, if I can help it, I would never set foot in China, bro.
Oh yeah,
no.
They digged with my hair when I was at the airport. Huh? I don't have no locks. I had no weave. I just had a ponytail, and she told me to take off my hat, and her hand was literally in my hair to see if I was like smuggling drugs in their country. I was like, bitch, is a layover. What the fuck?
I would not be hiding that shit in my hair, sis.
Exactly. No, this is a silk press. What are you talking about? Like, no. But yeah, so it's like being in China, I was just like,
check
this
my
is not
ass
the
crack. Make it fun for me.
Let me in my private pocket.
Hide some shit in my ass. Like,
just in the cheeks alone.
The cheeks alone would have a lot. But.
Hey, bro. Let me bend over. At least one of us can enjoy this shit. Now.
All you have to do is say, make it clap. All this shit gonna fall out.
But go ahead.
Back on track.
Yeah, back on track.
Yeah, but so Yeah, so that whole thing with Sam and Isaiah, it's a story. It's a conversation that we've all had as Black people, and it's a story that we're all familiar with. So Sam trying to get perspective on like what he should do, I understand, but ultimately, it's one of those things where you gotta kind of decide what you have to do for yourself, which is ironic, considering the next conversation, the second conversation that kind of really like was hallmarked in this show, the conversation between him and Bucky, about Bucky finally understanding Sam's point of view and shit, so on and so forth. Yeah, he said some things, but I want to get everyone else's perspective before I give my own. So someone say some shit. Speak, bitch.
Come on, bring it in. I actually do not remember this scene. That's why I'm like,
you know what?
Yeah,
just to be clear, I say bitch. Like generally, I'm not calling Drea or Brittany bitches. Like they know that I'm just using it as a pronoun generally to refer to all three of them. I don't need this because I don't need this shit coming back 5-10 years from now and be like, yo, the Mad Prince called these beautiful Black women bitches. No, nigga, that's not what it is.
I'll even it out. It's okay, bitch. It's okay.
Right. Bitch. Okay. Well, I guess I'll go first. Well,
that's
okay,
that's why I use motherfucker. Motherfucker's a gender new. Motherfucker is, hey, that's why I call everybody. Y'all can attest to this shit. I call everybody motherfucker.
Motherfuckers, yes, you do.
It's the most gender neutral shit you can say to a person. Like it doesn't matter if they man, woman, trans, nothing. Motherfucker. They know it. Bernie Mac taught me that shit. Rest in peace, my G. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so you're talking about when they were practicing with the shield and
tossing the good old vibranium shield around like it's an American pastime,
man.
Right? What did I think about that scene? You know what? Sam was flexing what he does best. You know, he got Bucky to really think about what he was doing, and how he wasn't really making amends. He was avenging and trying to, he had his nightmares. Nothing was changing because he was approaching his situation in a way where he wasn't making it better for the other people. He was making it better for himself. And I just love to see Sam do what he do best. And that's basically be a great counselor. And then I like that Bucky even like told him like, me and Steve didn't think about what it meant to give you the shield as a Black man. And I just love that he actually said it. I was just like, because he was so pissy the whole time in this series. He's like, well, he gave it to you. You just gave it up there like the whole time.
Even at the beginning of the episode, when they took when they took out John, he had the shield. He dropped it by his head.
And the look he gave him?
And pipped off. Like, yeah, motherfucker, don't lose it again. And walked off. I'm like, goddamn, you still don't get it.
You don't get it. Like, and I like that finally he gets it. It took a minute, but he got it. Well, let me quickly, before like we dive deeper into those conversations, I think that Bucky spent a lot of time in Wakanda. Because that flirt when he saw Sarah and the looks they were giving each other.
Oh man,
like Ali Boombaye. Ali Boombaye. Ali Boombaye.
He saw her, it was like, oh, you got a beautiful Black queen.
Dan caught on to that quick. He was like,
he sure did.
Yo, Sam was dead ass like, bro.
Don't talk to my sister.
You talk to my sister, Joe, I'm gonna cut your ass. Like, he dead ass said that shit. I'm like, damn.
I'm gonna have it.
When she came back to the boat, he like, hi, Sarah.
Damn.
Hey, Sarah. Yeah, I love that. I thought that was just cute.
But you know what? In all fairness, though, like the white wolf is fresh from the jungle, so I don't know what to tell you.
once you go black, you never go back. So he was definitely looking at Sarah. But the conversation, I just thought it was so needed. I was like, man, it took these niggas so long to get to this point, but I'm glad they got to the point. And I just feel like they're really like, they are friends now, like legit friends. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have for that scene. I like the little training montage with Sam. You know, he was out there putting in the work with the shield. And now I can't wait to see how he really moves with this shield now. So yeah, that's all I got to say about that scene.
I do like seeing Sam shine, being the therapist of the group.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wish we saw more of this, but everybody's being overshadowed by Captain America, Robert Downey Jr., Thor, etc. And also, Bucky did get off his chest that, you know, that shield felt like the last piece of family that I have.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm glad that they're getting vulnerable. I don't know what the next step for Bucky will be other than making amends. I don't know what the next chapter will be for him. I can see that's why Captain America didn't give him a shield. Like, you ain't ready.
Right. You ain't emotionally ready.
You got work to do.
Yeah.
You need Inyala. Fix your life. Look at you.
It would be so funny to see Bucky and Ayana.
Fix your life.
Right.
Sam gonna get this such a mean face.
All right, Ken.
Yeah, it was interesting seeing them just tossing the shield around, and them clearly at first showing that Bucky is catching the shield most of the time while Sam was throwing it. There was a couple of times he was catching it, but he showed like he clearly did not have that training yet. So when they did the montage, like you said, of that training, like that was good to see. That it was showing he is putting forth the dedication to live, not just to live up to that title, but kind of define it in his own way. Mm-hmm. More than likely. But first, you know, you got to learn how to use that shield.
Yeah, for real.
And the whole time, it's like, how are you catching that fucking shield? It's like, it's got that perfect time. Like, I feel like logistically, you should have like a magnetic gauntlet or something. It's just
that's
automatic.
What they had in Ultron. That's what Steve had in Ultron. He had like a magnetic gauntlet. Okay. But I don't know if they wearing that shit. I
don't see nothing on him. I think he don't.
Like how do you magically sling your arm into them straps? Disney magic. Like,
timing. It's just
Disney magic.
That Mickey Mouse money.
Yeah,
the mouse.
It's good seeing him like actually train. So that means like he will know how to use it to some degree, and also the deeper moment of like him and Bucky like really coming to the same level and coming to terms with things, like really just nipping the bud whatever little business dispute they had with each other, and really bonding, becoming not just teammates but really good teammates, but really good friends.
Yeah.
And that understanding that's going to play along really well towards whatever happens next episode.
Yeah.
A lot of shit. And I can't wait to see the new outfit.
Right?
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to see the fit.
Hey, we'll get to that. So my thoughts on that. That's a really hard, because you know what? The whole relationship between Bucky and Sam has always been somewhat rocky. I mean, because they never really been like friends. They just like been mutuals through Steve, more or less, and shit. I mean, and granted, let's be real, the first time that Bucky met Sam, he shot at them. So, you know, I'd be a little upset too. But but no, ultimately, seeing how their relationship kind of started at the start of the show and versus where it's come to now, it's definitely shows a lot of growth and like a whole lot of understanding between the two of them and shit. And so him finally getting that idea, like, damn, so this is what that shit meant. Okay. Damn. So being Captain America, being a black man, being Captain America, man, that might not sit right for a lot of people. Especially with the person holding the shield. So I mean, granted, Bucky nor Steve were ever racist, more or less. So I say more or less, but I mean they never been racist though, because I mean you've seen them work with the first Captain America shit. Because I rewatched that shit. That shit hits different now. But yeah, you seen how that shit goes, and like it's just perspective. That's really what this whole show was getting perspective between John, between Bucky, and between Sam. John's perspective being the fact that like he pretty much tried to play he's trying to play victim though, but he is a product of what the American government made him, and that's his thing. Bucky dealing with his own nightmares as the Winter Soldier, so on and so forth. Him losing Steve, the one person who pretty much redeemed him in his eyes, and who pretty much chose Sam to carry on that mantle. And if Steve was wrong about, and he even said it, if Steve was wrong about him, then he was probably wrong about him. Like he was wrong about Sam, he was probably wrong about me with the whole thing with the shield and shit. So I mean it's a whole lot of this episode is really a whole lot about it, like getting perspective, so on and so forth. It's a lot of that shit. So yeah, I kind of like that scene. And Sam finally training with the shield and shit. Man, that man almost took his head off like a couple dozen times, Joe. I'm like, bro, you can't catch a frisbee, nigga. Are you kidding me, bro?
That ain't no
regular frisbee.
That'll take a hit.
I wouldn't try.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
That shit really made me think about the mechanics of that damn shield. I'm like,
he was catching it just fine with Bucky, when all of a sudden, nah.
That
was casual toss. This is intense training. He's going different angles.
Right.
It's nice to know he caught the rhythm of that shit. But so it was the talk between both him and Sam was definitely interesting and a much needed one, given the fact. Did anyone else have any thoughts about that? So nope. Okay.
Romance complete.
So let's talk about Karli and how in like her transition from basically is she a liberator or a terrorist at this point? Her whole transition that pretty much almost got cemented with how she killed Battlestar, all that shit. So I want to hear people's thoughts on how you think Karli is progressing as a villain. Goddamn, something is stuck in my keyboard. Okay, just don't mind me.
I ain't going first, y'all. Let me get my thoughts together.
As far as progressing into a villain, yeah, she's about completing that last step, because now she gotten her first like real taste of blood. Like in person, like I just killed that person. Like when she killed Battlestar, like that. Like once you get that, it started to feel like, okay, now I could do that some more, and it'll be okay. When it started to actually go past that line.
Yeah, she crossed it now.
Yeah,
she
and you can see it, like even
she blew up the builder.
Yeah, but you don't see it. I guess it wasn't like a direct.
Yeah, but she was already vocalizing it. She's like,
she was already on the way.
But she
can make the end. Now she's like, we got to break the eggs to make the omelet.
But even when she was saying that before, you kind of sensed she was also trying to convince herself.
Yeah.
That. So now she is convinced, and she's trying to convince the rest of her followers that this is the way. And that is.
I thought fucking Mandela.
Don't fucking do it. Just move on. Okay. Move on. We're not doing this now. I will fucking yeet you from this chat, nigga. Don't do it.
Okay, go ahead.
Continue.
But yeah. But yeah, with that, her resolve to her ideal, her what she feels like she needs to do to complete her ideal, her mission is about to go down, and she's going to go through it. So yeah, she's completing her transition to like a full-blown villain, because she definitely crossed the line, and she's about to go even further. But from her perspective, it is what needs to be done. But because she already crossed that line, she is okay to continue to cross that line to achieve that goal, because they crossed that line. Other people have crossed that line. So, but she became what she was fighting against.
Yeah. Drea?
I'm wondering what affected her more, killing Lamar, or the fact that one of her own people were killed and they're just trying to be citizens in this country. I think the whole fallout of what happened and result to that, rather than, Captain America's going too far, like, you know what, let's get this patch act going, gotta send everybody back. They went back to the shelter, orphanage, everybody's cleared out. And it's like, yo, this isn't working. We need to step this shit up, because we're just trying to live. We ain't trying to go back into the shadows. We ain't trying to be neglected. So she already had that, grit that, I would do what I have to do. But Sam was redirecting her. She's like, you're idealistic, but you agree with me. You ain't really feeling the method, but you agree. But now she's off the deep end because she hired somebody to kill Sam. And I'm like, damn, honey, we can't get you back. Zemo like, that girl's gone. Y'all gonna have to cut that shit expeditiously. Wakanda forever. Wakanda forever, because that's where I'm going. But she's been radicalized to the extreme.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I unfortunately I was like, this episode is like, I can't see how she's gonna be redeemed. So I think she's full on villain mold, and I was just hoping that Sam can use his little therapist powers and bring her back, but she seemed like she got a resolve now. So
thank you, Johnny Walker. Fuck that shit up.
Johnny Walker. I know, right?
Johnny Walker fucks everything.
I'm a little kind of upset about, not upset, but I'm a little sad about the whole Karli situation. And maybe because she's young, so I just don't want to see her go down that path. And Sam was so close to breaking through, and now she's just like,
so Johnny Walker showed up.
We're gonna go to Johnny Walker. Okay. Black Label fucks everything.
Yo, if they name that nigga Black Label, I'm like, I get it.
Yeah. So as far as her character, I think she might be arrested. I don't think she would be killed, but I do think that Sam's gonna have to just really just put her away. So yeah.
I mean, with that super serum, what else can you do with these people?
Yeah, you can't do anything with them. So
okay, yeah. So Karli. So Karli, her ass crazy. That's essentially what that is. Yeah, I'm with Sam, Joe. Like, yo, I get the method. Like, I mean, not the method. I get the intent and shit. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, the world was probably in a much better place because it was focused on rebuilding and shit. That's sort of, and there were allowances and so on and so forth. It was about surviving and people were together and shit like that. And then all of a sudden, the status quo knocks at your fucking door, and then suddenly everything changes. Like, no one wants you here anymore. People want it. Well, I mean, on one hand, I get it. People want to resume their old lives, though. But a lot of the problems that came, that kind of disappeared with the blip. I mean, no, with the snap, came back with the blip, and and it's at the detriment of the people who was there helping to rebuild for those 5 years. And it's kind of like, well, what the fuck? Like, did that shit not mean anything? So on and so forth. And so I get, like I said, I agree with Karli. I agree with Karli wholeheartedly. That this bullshit that's going on, I'd be right there with her though. But she's employing more and more drastic methods and shit, and it's sort of like, well, what's the point of it in the long end? Because I mean, it's not gonna fucking work. In fact, because the more you push people like that and shit, the more you terrorize them and shit like that, the more you unite them against you. Because then it gets to a point where whatever message you have, they won't give a fuck what it is, whether or not it's right or wrong. Because ultimately, your existence is a detriment to theirs, and they're gonna band up against you in order to take you out. And it doesn't matter if you have a fucking serum, or if your homie's got a serum and shit. The world still outnumbers your dumb ass, and it's just you made your grave, woman, and that's basically what's going on here. And so, but the weird thing about Karli is that she has, like, she's in New York now. So she's in New York, she's in US, which kind of begs the question, who the fuck allowed that shit to happen? Like, Homeland Security slacking, bro. And so she in New York. Not only are they slacking by connections. Not only is they slacking with her, they slacking with a whole network. Cause she sent out a tag and, like, niggas got up from Central Park like, yo, let's fuck some shit up. She had a whole legion. She had a whole fucking sleeper legion, nigga. Like, bro, this is like over some Hydra shit, nigga.
Well, it said like they're not going to be able to find her because she has people everywhere. It's not aligned to any country. It's a cause. It's a different type of cause.
And then they made that a point too in episodes, so y'all niggas won't be like, well, how the hell she got people?
All the people
like, no,
they were ready.
Everywhere.
That's why they couldn't find her. That's probably how she got in.
Hey, she triggered this shit with an app, nigga. Anyway,
who made the app?
Anyway,
She knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody.
We're getting off the reservation. What I'm trying to say.
She got connections. She got connections.
The fact is, fuck that. Anyway, she's gone full blown terrorist at this point. Because even like her number two, he like, yo, this shit a little fucked up. Like, no, I believe in the cause, but the meth is a little fucked up. And it's like that last remnant of what they used to stand for, in terms like the methodology and what they'd employ and shit in order to achieve that end. I mean, that shit's gonna get snuffed out real fucking quick. Buddy is going to die in the next episode. I guarantee that shit at this point, because that's gonna be the full. That's gonna be the full. Yeah, that's usually
gotta
who
lose
dies.
our besties to rise up.
That's usually who dies. If Game of Thrones had taught me anything, the noble people are the first motherfuckers to die. And
in
that
peace,
nigga and Buddy is about to get clipped because he's an inconvenience at this point, because he's not down with the methodology. She's probably going to employ some
she's
shit
aligning herself with criminals now, so it's like she full on just like, we gotta do what we gotta do.
She let them know. He's like, baby, we are criminals. Get with the way.
The world is calling us criminals.
Like I said, she already
we are.
too far gone.
So Karli is dead ass. She's going full flag smasher. She's dead ass terrorist right now. So that's my opinion. Now, a major criticism of this episode, or like of the show at large, is how it just seemed like a lot of the plot lines that they present are just really thin, and it seemed like they're not going to get fully fleshed out, and it won't be fully addressed in the final episode and so forth. Like the whole thing about the again, I mean, it's, if they had like 1 or 2 more episodes, then maybe this would be a different thing though, but that's not the case. Excuse me. Plot lines like the power broker, we still don't know who the fuck that is. Sharon Carter, we still don't know. Sharon Carter, we still don't know. We still don't fully understand her angle in this shit, because she hired that French fuck to come back and be on bullshit, because it turned out she hired him at the beginning of the series, and like he was doing something for her. So there's that bullshit. Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, we don't know her part in this and shit. Baron Zemo, his storyline just kind of wrapped up abruptly wrapped up, and it's just like the Dora Milaje just came in like, we taking this nigga to the raft, and they dipped off. And then we have the GRC. The GRC has just been the organization that Karli and the Flag Smashers are fighting against. They've always had a presence. Well, not much of a presence. They've always been mentioned, more or less, but they never had a real presence. Not until this episode, when you really saw like the bureaucracy and the corruption among them and shit. And that would have been, Because if you saw that earlier on in the show, you can kind of get a greater sense of what Karli is fighting against.
Yeah.
And maybe you be more, I mean, granted, Karli is
sympathetic towards her cause.
Yeah, you be more sympathetic and you can see better her point of view. And so basically what I want to ask y'all is, how do you feel about these plot lines? How do you feel about these plot lines that seem like they're kind of rushed, unfinished, thin, more or less? And how do you feel because I'm honestly, I fucking doubt that they're gonna be able to wrap all that shit up within one episode.
There's
unless it's a long ass episode. Because the one thing that Disney has been good at is they make these episodes as long as they need them to be. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's just very unlikely. So I just want people's thoughts on those plot lines overall. Like, how do you feel about those certain things that feel like they could have fleshed out a much larger story, a lot more character development for everybody involved, so on and so forth?
Well, I agree with the criticism with that because I felt the same way. I felt that they introduced too many storylines in this show. And when I heard the episode count, I was just like, I can't see how they're going to address everything fully. You know, something's going to fall, and not be fully explored. And it looks like a lot of it is going to not be fully explored. If they wanted to focus mostly on Falcon and the Winter Soldier, then I think they could have streamlined the storyline where they just gave them one conflict and have them flesh out as a character. Because I think that's really was the main point of the show. But Marvel also have a history of trying to put in different set up different stuff. Yeah, sprinkle like he's like,
exactly,
hey, you remember that in Winter Soldier, right?
Oh,
you remember that in
hold up, my bad. Hold up. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, sprinkle it.
You got that already.
I just can't. I can't see them wrapping it up.
I keep the glasses there because I'm usually drinking in front of the camera. So
yeah, I don't
this
think
ring
they're
light is bright, nigga. Like I'm looking at what 1, 2, 3, 4 lights, and there's one beneath my desk to light up the other half of my fucking green, nigga.
But you're lit beautifully.
I'm lit in a number of ways.
In a number of ways.
That's why I'm slugging this Pedialyte, boy. You know it.
Pedialyte.
Hey.
Yeah.
Brought to you by.
But yeah, I understand the criticism, and I just don't think they're going to be able to wrap everything up, which I am kind of upset about. Well, not upset, but just kind of like, it was such a good show, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that I think they're trying to using this series as a form of a setup for a lot of their other content, not necessarily just other shows directly. These characters aren't definitely have to go to other shows in order for their story to be carried on. They could switch over to other content, like to comics or to other forms of media. But they're kind of like introducing these storylines into the new phase, because this is part of this new phase of the MCU that they had to fill in. They had to introduce more storylines of new characters that they had to fill in this new phase for. So,
is it true that they initially had, I think, 10 episodes, and because of what was going on with the pandemic, that they cut it down and that they got rid of? I saw this article that it got rid of a storyline.
Well,
I don't know if y'all saw that.
I can check.
But I mean, you can even see just from the we saw so far, like a lot of the scenes in here is very isolated, like only a handful of people in these scenes. Like I think of the most crowded scenes in this whole series. Like the pandemic definitely affected the shooting, how a lot of media is handled, including how many people they have for scenes and stuff. So it is.
Yeah, I initially heard that it was supposed to be longer and they cut it down. So I'm not sure.
This shit expensive enough. Every episode is cost like as much as 25 million. God damn. Mm-hmm. I mean, I knew it'd be pricey, but fuck.
Well, look at they were traveling too, so it was like
but fuck.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The special effects.
Gotta keep that visual effects be wonky though. When the super soldiers be running, I'm like, can we not today?
Yeah, it's not about the run cycles.
All right.
It's like, are you on a treadmill?
We off topic. We off
Okay,
topic.
let me get back on.
It's like their run cycles like this, and they're like, or they're like running like this, and they're like,
I just pin it. But
it's like, come on, guys, get your in between together.
Let's get back.
I was trying to continue. Okay. So, anywho, yeah, I didn't like how the power broker, whatever, doesn't matter. You was like the boogeyman the entire time, and it's like, where are you? Mm-hmm. We came in your backyard. They took your serum. We saw your homie. He blew up. Where are you? You've been mentioned so many times, and now I don't care.
Yeah.
But I think they have a lot of responsibility, especially when you're trying to do a lot of world building in a post-blip society, and you're only showing us through 2 series. WandaVision, which was very contained to like one place, so you don't really get a sense of perspective globally. And this is the first series where it's like, this is what the world looks like now. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how much of that we're going to roll over like the GRC. Sure, they were vague. They didn't have a figurehead. So it's not like you had this big baddie to represent that whole initiative. So I don't know if that's going to be continued to the following series, whatever's going to come up next, because this is a post-blip society. People trying to get their lives back together in some semblance. So I think almost similar to opinion to the Snyder Cut, you're trying to introduce a lot of things.
Yeah.
But because it's a TV series, and also you constrained it to 6 episodes, it could have been 10.
Definitely could have been 10. And then thinking about the Loki situation, I'm like, the Loki show, I'm like, they're not going to really touch on the whole blip and what's going on Earth. Nah. That's a whole time.
Then they're probably not going to be on Earth.
Bandit shit. Yeah.
And my whole thing with this whole setting things up, I think you really can take away from so many things because you're trying to build up too many things. Much. Like WandaVision, we got introduced to like what, Monica? Mm-hmm. And she was just like, felt like she was such an add-on because you're like, we want you to know she's going to come back soon. Have a superhero pose, sis. Bam, you're going to see her soon. And Captain Marvel,
unfortunately, is they suffered.
Like, is this a series? Is this an advertisement?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and granted, they kind of wrapped up a 10-year storyline that was amazing, but it's kind of like, where are they gonna go from here? Who's gonna be the ultimate threat and shit though? Like the Avengers are more or less, I don't know what kind of state the Avengers are in right now, and fucking so it's kind of at a point, it was like, where can they go? I mean, clearly they building up to something, and so I just damn it, Brittany. Okay,
I know it died.
Okay.
Oh, continue.
Clean up an out, Brittany.
All right. So basically, I just read this real quick. They said that there were more stories to be told, that there was a second season, and basically the whole thing is, if there was a second season, the thing is that they basically made this like they kind of set this up like WandaVision for us to be like a jumping, like a launching point for like future films. So it's because we don't know if there's going to be a second version of a second season 2 of WandaVision. Honestly, I don't think there should be.
It shouldn't be.
Didn't they call the last episode series finale? I think it's a wrap.
Yeah, well, every episode,
it was about her, so
I mean, every episode was basically it was a whole sitcom and shit. So every episode title was like a motif to television. Mm-hmm. So of course they call it season finale because she literally ended the show. She literally ended the show on that shit. So it made sense. But they said that so they're not confirming or denying that there's a second season though. But they just said that this is basically what's happening here is basically a launching point for future films and shit, which is probably what's gonna happen with Loki when that shit comes out in a couple months. But that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to say that. Everybody say their piece or okay. So in my opinion, did I say my opinion already about this thin ass plot lines and shit and like this like loose ends and shit?
Not in detail, but
okay.
Vaguely. I kind of have vaguely.
He's like, all right, let me get comfy.
Let me take a sip.
It's a little fucked. It kind of reminds me of like Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire and shit. How they just set up plot lines and shit, and they just kind of like fumbled it at the end, Joe. And so I'm like, bro, y'all set up so much shit, and it's just kind of like, are y'all just really filling out the lore, or are y'all gonna resolve some of this shit? Because like even when they introduced the Contessa, it kind of felt shoehorned. And like, granted, if it was like another 1 or 2 episodes in this series, and I feel maybe justified, and like, okay, so they're gonna do something more with her. But in terms of that character, she was supposed to show up in
Black Widow.
Black Widow. Yeah. So I get that one really didn't pan out though. But it's like you missing a lot of shit that you all set up. The GRC, how fucking corrupt and how bureaucratic they are, and how because even when you saw that GRC meeting and shit, like there was that one motherfucker who was in the room. It was that one motherfucker who was in the room with John Walker, giving that sentence down to him and shit. He was like, yo, like, and they were talking about what we gonna do to relocate all these people when we reenact this vote and shit like that. You like, no, fuck that. We can move these motherfuckers through military force. And it was like, yo, that's not what we are about. And so you never really saw that until that point. And like, I feel like 5 episodes in a 6-episode series where they have been with basically the policies that they have instilled, that Karli has been fighting against, that's way too fucking late for us to see that shit. If you saw that shit at the jump, I would feel different. That would make sense. I'd be more sympathetic to Karli. I get why she'd be doing the shit that she's doing. But the first time we actually see like GRC like in tangible form, she blew up the fucking building. And it's kind of like, okay, this is some terrorist shit. I don't know why she's doing this shit, and so on and so forth. So I feel like how that storyline, how that entity in the show was handled poorly. Baron Zemo just being shipped off to the raft by the Dora Milaje, that I don't know it just seemed kind of like nigga, you snuck away for what? Like, I mean, I get that you went back to Sokovia. I get that you went back to Sokovia to that monument, and he even mentioned that shit like, have you ever gone to the monument? I bet you haven't, and shit like that, like in the previous episode. But it was like, bro, I just felt like that whole confrontation just felt stale. I felt like there was no conclusion to that story. I just felt like it ended for the sake of it being
very
ended.
abrupt.
Yeah, it was very abrupt.
Wasn't his whole purpose to make sure there was no more super soldiers?
More or less, though.
Like, I pass it on to you, Bucky. Handle it.
Yeah, and he kind of did that shit, and like, I'm pretty sure Bucky might put a cap in Karli. It would make sense, but because Karli does need to die at this point. Yeah, and they need to put her ass under the jail, bro. Anyway,
bro, you know who else needs to die? Fucking Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker need to die, but that nigga's gonna be a
Mr.
whole
Black Label himself,
anti-villain or whatever.
Man, hey, don't call him Black Label. He don't deserve that.
Nah, you fucking alcoholic. Anyway, then we got Sharon Carter who's making moves, but we don't really understand why she's making these moves. We get the fact that she kind of adapted in Madripoor, and like over the last 7 years she's been gone, like she's been on the run and shit. Though we don't know what she is, what her role is and shit like that. She just is. We just get the sense that she's on dirt. We just don't know the extent or like how she fits into this whole thing. Then the Prowl Broker, which can be any fucking body or any fucking thing at this point, and it's just kind of like, it's a lot of, they sprinkled in a lot of shit that they could build upon later on. But the problem is, Joe, it's like, bro, y'all went about it in a way that just kind of I don't give a fuck. Like, why would you mention it if you're not gonna fucking expand upon it at least a little bit? Because it's not much of a teaser. You just threw the shit. It felt like you just threw the shit in there, like you overseasoned the shit. That's what it felt like. You overseasoned the chicken, and now we got to suffer for it. Fuck you. That's some bullshit.
And they only use salt.
Chicken.
Wait, the overseason?
No. Let's be real. They didn't just use salt because there's enough seasoning here. There's enough seasoning here. It's just that they kind of threw in some shit. They kind of threw in some shit that just didn't need to be in there, Joe. Like, bitch, why did you put raisins in the fucking? Why'd you put raisins
in the bread?
Yeah, sure.
Bro, why'd you put raisins in this shit? It didn't need raisins. Fuck that.
They use cornmeal. They put cornmeal.
But yeah,
for the breading.
That's how I feel though. I feel like all these plot points, they kind of sprinkled. I get the intent to expand upon them though, but a lot of them gonna get dropped. A lot of them not gonna make sense towards the end of the show, and it's gonna leave sort of like a lackluster taste in a lot of people's mouths once we get to that point. Because I doubt you got to be one amazing fucking writer in order to wrap all that shit up and in a meaningful way. And this is Star Wars tried to do that same shit and it did not work. So
No, it's a setup series is what it is.
Yeah, it is, but
I don't like that. I don't like it's a setup
WandaVision is a setup series, but WandaVision they kind of curbed how much shit they were trying to set up. There's a lot of loose ends here that I don't think are gonna get fully wrapped up here, or they're gonna it's gonna feel devoid of anything of substance. And trying to say like we can capitalize on this shit in the films entirely, that kind of defeats the purpose of putting it in there to begin with, because maybe the shit will work better in the movie itself and shit, and if you just like put in like an Easter egg and shit, but if they put some of this shit in as an Easter egg, it would make sense. You could build
they legit set up whole storylines.
What they're doing is they're taking different baits and tossing out there in the series and seeing what's more
than bait though.
This is what it's more than bait, but it's enough to where you're gonna see what is going to catch with the audience to what they could feed on from there. Basically.
It's too much. What I'm saying is it's too much. It's more than bait, and it's too much. And I'm like, I'm not mad that it's there. I'm just mad at how they handled it.
It's not fleshed out as much. You could
it's not. Yeah,
especially for 6 episodes.
Yeah,
I know. But we've been saying that from the beginning. Like, it's only 6?
We have. We really have.
All right, I got to move this on because I talk way too much about this shit. All right.
We have predictions yet? Where we at?
We on the second. No, actually, no. There's 3 more topics. I know. Like, this is a heavy episode. So it won't be much. Just all right. So.
I'm just saying,
bro. I literally finagled this shit before we started filming because I completely forgot I was supposed to be running this shit. So, all right. So the mid-credit scene, did everybody see it?
Okay, you didn't see it, did you?
No, clearly I did not.
The comment you made earlier, I was like, I don't think she saw it. When you said about getting the shield back.
Okay, the mid-credit shield basically has John Walker playing an Iron Man role where pulling the Iron Man. Basically, he's building his own shild, his own Captain American shield, and
he's about to cosplay for real.
Yeah. He's putting his Medals of Honor into the shield and shit, and that's basically what he's doing. He's basically making his own fucking his own fucking U.S. agent fucking shit. So yeah. So any thoughts about the mid-credit scene?
I mean, honestly, I just was like, some whack ass. I'm gonna be Captain America regardless of who tell me, and I was just like, ooh, you lame as fuck. And so now I'm just kind of like, I just hope somebody put him down, because just let the shit go. You are not Captain America. You are whack ass Captain America. You are Johnny Walker. Stop. So yeah, that shit just kind of annoyed me because it was reminiscent of Iron Man scene, and you are not as on Iron Man level at all. So I was like,
I think that was the point though.
I know, but I'm just saying, I'm like, ugh. Yeah, that's all I had to say about that. Fuck him.
Yeah, it's taking a similar scenario and putting it from a different perspective, basically. And it's his shield's not gonna be anywhere near as good. It's gonna have some little quirk or something. I mean, it's not gonna be the right material either. There's no way he's gonna get
vibranium.
It ain't vibranium.
Yeah.
They're gonna put a dent in that one.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna get fucked up. It's probably gonna like clash with shields and snap in half or something. But yeah, it's completed his showcasing that he is obsessed with the idea that he is Captain America, that he owns that title, and ultimately he's gonna morph into something else. Most likely U.S. agent at this point, especially with the embroiderment of the Medal of Honors onto the shield itself. That just shows,
we all saw the way he was caressing that shield when he had it.
Mm-hmm.
My precious.
Yeah.
Go and look at it.
Drea?
I just watched it. Multitasking.
That evil laugh, though. But go ahead.
I just look so tacky seeing him trying to put the rings together. I'm like, baby, no. I was actually hoping when they brought in Contessa, that was them writing him out for future shit. Now I'm like, I'm really gonna have to deal with you at the last episode. You coming in,
Karli.
Like, I'm repair man. Like,
damn.
I really got to deal with you.
My man dead ass became blank man. Ain't that a bitch?
Like, I thought we was done with you, but you really gonna come back all obsessive, hair out of place, looking like a mess,
looking crazy as hell, cosplaying as Captain America.
Man,
stop.
Like, go home, take a bath.
Go be with your wife. Go make a baby or something. Like, what are you?
I know. You ain't getting no benefits. Sit down.
Yes, go find a real job. Go ahead and apply to some real jobs.
Of everything, like, yo, you will not get a pension. You will not, like, damn, that was fucked up.
Yeah, he needs to go ahead.
It was justified, but it was like, damn. Like, if they might not have cared if he wasn't wearing the suit. Like, that's the thing.
If it wasn't recorded, they probably wouldn't have cared.
And that he stood there and like showcased it for the talk.
Yeah,
like, hey, I see this. Hey, I added more red to
it. Now you can get him out this damn meeting.
All right. I deleted that question I originally had. It's kind of redundant at this point. All right, so we're just gonna move on to predictions. What do you think will happen in the final episode of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
There's going to be a lot of loose ends. And I do think they're going to tie it up with Karli. I do think she's going to be arrested. I don't think Sam is going to kill her. I don't think Johnny Walker's going to kill her. I do think that she's going to be put away. As far as John Walker, I do think that he's going to get away. He's going to be working for Val. And that's just going to be something that we're going to tackle in the future. GRC, I think that's going to be an overall issue dealing with the MCU as far as like grounded MCU, not Doctor Strange and Wanda and all that stuff. I think grounded wise, that's going to be like Hydra was for MCU in, the last 10 years. So, and then I think they did a good job fleshing out Falcon and Bucky. So now we're going to see Falcon take on this new role as Captain America. And I don't really know what Winter Soldier, but I do think he's going to make amends with the Japanese guy in the beginning that he killed his son. Because why else would they show that scene of him actually doing that?
I agree.
Yeah, so that's going to be something, because he don't want to say that he was the one that killed him, but that man is literally, I don't know what happened to my son. And he's going to be the one to tell him, yeah, I was the one that did it. And he finally can get some closure. And I think, that's literally one of the toughest things that Bucky has to do. Like, he was the Winter Soldier, killed plenty of people, but I think this right here is probably going to be the toughest thing this man has to do. So, I think that's pretty much going to be it. And I do think it's going to feel kind of lukewarm at the end with this show, just because there's going to be so many loose ends. So,
I have a feeling they're going to amp up so much action that we're like, oh, wait, there were loose ends. Then they're gonna overcompensate.
I know they're just saying big budget for all the extra scenes.
Exactly. So I just wonder how this final showdown is gonna be. You're gonna have Karli, Bucky, Sam. I don't know if Contessa is gonna like, hey John, they about to move. Go on, get in there. Because why else are you gonna show him building his shield? I thought he was written out. I thought we were done with him. So I don't think he's gonna step out of pocket, out of frame, and just go there himself when he's, pretty much just been recruited. She's like the smartest thing.
He want Karli.
He want Karli, because Karli was the actual one that killed his best friend.
Yeah. But I don't know if she's gonna like help motivate him. Like the smartest thing you can do is answer my damn calls. So I don't know if she's gonna call him and say, hey, mission number 1, go and get that shit. Cause we also want more super soldiers. Because that was also the smartest other thing you did was sip that little bippity boppity boo potion. So it's going to be a lot of shit. I don't know who's going to live. I don't know if is Karli going to die. I mean, she's more resourceful keeping her, but we'll see.
Yeah.
That's like the big question for the next episode. Like, will she live? Will she die?
Is she gonna be with Contessa? Like, hey, bitch, we gonna fuck some shit up. I'm gonna fuck shit up. You gonna fuck shit up? Let's go. Bring her, Johnny. You can't kill her. I don't care. I called you. Bring her here. I don't know what you're gonna do. I don't know what you're gonna do with the power broker. I don't care. I just don't care.
Yeah, I don't care anymore.
I'm like, sis, you had all the time. Could have been done something. I don't care. Making your moves, I guess.
All right, Ken.
Yeah, unless they, somehow show Sarah as like the power broker somehow, then yeah, this is. I don't see how they're gonna really tie that storyline in well enough within this time frame to really have it make that much sense, or for it to be that impactful. But I do believe John Walker is going to see that Karli's in New York and he's going to join in the debacle, and it's going to. In my head, as soon as I start formulating what could happen this episode, I just see like somehow, since they're in New York, somehow it comes to the showdown of John Walker and Sam fighting in Times Square or something in front of all cameras and stuff. And they see how Sam beats this proposed Captain America that was, deemed by the government. But no, he shows that he is he's has a shield. He's fighting for the cause. It's gonna be the cause versus the country, like as far as symbolism goes. And somehow, in a more public figure, in a more public scene, he will beat John Walker and kind of earn the title of Captain America in front of everyone.
Ooh, the public embarrassment. He gonna snap.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree with a lot of what y'all said. It's gonna be a final showdown between John and Sam. Yo, I dead ass think something's gonna happen and like Bucky is gonna fold the shit out of Karli. I want Bucky to fold the shit out of somebody, bro. Winter Soldier cold as hell. I'm sorry.
I know.
Like, hey,
I feel the same way.
I want Bucky to fold the shit out of somebody, bro. And like, I can't imagine him not being in this fight. I mean, because it's Falcon and Winter Soldier. So
he's definitely gonna be there.
Yeah, even when he said at the end,
he said, "Call me."
He said, "Call me."
Let me know.
They all gonna be there. They all gonna be there.
They all gonna be there. So
call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
If you want to reach me, that's
it's
okay.
Oh yeah. That question I had got rid of. It was supposed to be like, what do you think it means to be Captain America? That shit. So just final thoughts. Because I had rewatched all of on my vacation. I rewatched the whole Captain America trilogy show, and like that shit hits different. When especially like the first one, which is honestly I think is like the worst one out of the three though. But like it like the ideas that it brought up makes sense, Joe, because that scientist who chose Steve, he was like, yeah, so the serum, what it does is it doesn't change you, it just enhances you. It was like, yo, like good becomes great, the bad becomes worse. Like, you like just stay a good person. And I'm like, that shit hit different because I'm like, yo, Battle Scar said that same exact shit.
He really did.
He said that same exact shit, just make you more of what you are. And it turns out John was just never that good of a person. So
what did he see in his homie? They like, girl, boy, do it. Take that bippity boppity boo potion.
I think with like dealing with everything that happened in Afghanistan, it was just that bonding experience. You don't know your bro.
It was just that bullshit. And whatever decision was made, it was bad enough for John to be fucked up over it.
I was hoping they would flesh that out too.
But it seemed
not
like
enough time.
It is what it is. 6 episodes, but yeah, right. I think and then I remember like. They kind of dead ass had a whole fucking did a whole fucking thing with Rhodey. With Rhodey when he became fucking Iron Patriot. I'm like, damn, I forgot that shit actually existed. Because that was in Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 fucking sucked. I only watched that shit once. And like, that's like the redheaded stepchild of the MCU. And like, I dead ass forgot, like, yo, they really had like a black character, really tried to make this motherfucker as patriotic as possible.
And red, white, and blue on that.
And clearly that shit didn't stick though. But
like college football team mascot.
Yeah, and that shit didn't stick. And that kind of like, I'm kind of like, yo, I was kind of reminiscent of like, yo, okay, so. You know, that whole thing, what does it mean to be Captain America? And like they weren't trying to make Rhodey the Captain America though, but they damn sure tried to make him into America's poster child and shit though. And that's so I kind of remember that shit. I'm like, damn, I completely forgot that shit happened. But yeah, predictions though. I think U.S. Soldier's gonna get his ass worked on the world stage by Sam, and that's when Sam becomes Captain America, and basically the government ain't got no shit. They ain't gonna say shit about it because too much public opinion is public opinion and shit. I need to know what the fuck is this thing going on with this French fuck and
I forgot.
And Sharon Carter. I don't know what the fuck is going on there. I need explanations and shit. If she I keep saying shadow broker. If she is the power broker, I don't know how to feel about that shit. I'm kind of like, okay,
it wouldn't feel earned.
Fine.
I'll agree.
It just feel like
kinda...
she's also this for no reason whatsoever. And I'm kind of I'd hate it, but
even though that was my prediction, I was still kind of like, I don't really care for it.
Because like that's.
Do you think they'll give us a cliffhanger for something else?
Mm-hmm. This is a show that could easily be a season 2.
Because this is like I said, like all these Marvel shows are basically just launch points for other shit in the movies. So
I'm just wondering what shit is this for?
I don't know.
But thank you, Disney. What the hell?
That's what they're going to reveal at some point, I'm sure.
They're gonna open up
master plan.
They're gonna open up a rod, and that's gonna be the loose end that they tie up. That's fucked up. No, but yeah. I mean, that's basically my thoughts. I really don't know what the fuck is going on, so on and so forth. Oh, she finally graduated. That's good.
I know, right?
Yeah. Hey, kudos.
Oh, well, are we talking about the same thing?
Yes.
All right.
Our girl. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, because
I was just applauding.
Oh, okay. That's fine. That's fine. Our friend is blacker than most niggas anyway. So anyway,
blacker than me.
Yeah. We say that because she's white and she grew up off the 9, so that's an entirely yeah. So those are my thoughts about that shit, and that's basically it. Anybody have anything that you want to add before we sign this shit off? It's been an hour and 42 minutes. God damn. Right.
Well, you said we had 2 more points. I'm like, damn. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I got rid of one of them because they seem redundant.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, we did have a lot to say. 4 opinions.
Yeah, I would say. Well, also one thing, like overall, like I have been enjoying the series. There's a lot more that, of course, they could add on to it because it's very shallow, a lot of plot points, and they had to introduce a lot of stuff into this. But
It sounds like season finale talk, my G.
Yeah, I know. Well, you can save this for next week.
Save this shit for next week.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, so far, like I've been enjoying it.
I'm not mad at it. Just keep that same energy for next week. That's
Don't
all
worry.
I'm saying.
He's gonna be too buzzed. Get it out your system now. We're gonna take it out this week.
Oh no, I'm good.
All right. So all right, if that's it. I think now's the perfect time to be ending this shit. My voice cracked on that one. God damn, let me redo that one. Now I think oh shit. See, I can't even say it right now. God damn. All right, now that we've said all our pieces, I think now's the perfect time to end this video. This long ass video. So so we'll see what happens on the final season finale of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We'll see how this shit would wrap up, so on, all that in the bag of chips. So so thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We've been doing this Echo 4. We do this shit every week, so on and so forth. Kind of don't know what we're going to be moving on to, but that's an entirely different conversation.
We just like Disney. We don't know.
We do have Mortal Kombat coming. We're going to have a Mortal
Kombat review coming.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat review coming.
About the whips
and Yasuke.
And Yasuke. Yeah, I need to. So yeah, we have that shit coming. We got more content coming for you. So yeah, thank you for watching. And this is Echo 4 signing off.
Bye.
Deuces.
Deuces.